Hello, everyone. Welcome to Six Train Therapy. I'm DJ Mayday, your producer, content creator, DJ, artist.
And I'm Professor S, psychotherapist with a private practice here in New York. Welcome to our show.
And I just want to remind you guys once again about our email. Our email is sixtraintherapy@gmail.com. If you ever have any questions for Professor S or DJ Mayday, please feel free to ask. And if you have any comments about how to make the show better, we're open to taking comments. I've been persuaded.
And also, I am a social worker, psychotherapist. If you have questions about relationships,
Yes.
work, stress, mental wellness issues, please feel free to include those in your questions as well. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
All right. Yes.
Right, homie?
Yes, let's go. I feel good this week.
All right. I feel good this week, too.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know. Maybe because we took a break from each other. How about that?
That could be it. But I also got my booster from my for the Omicron variant.
Well, thank God. Jesus.
And I got a flu shot.
Oh.
So I feel extra strong. I got them one in each arm, so I'm like, ready to go.
Oh, okay. I completed those quite a while ago, but I'm glad that you caught up to the rest of the planet.
Wow. Well, these are the things we got to do now.
These are the times we are living in, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Make sure we got our vaccinations.
Yes, please make sure. Though many of you might feel very hesitant about getting the shot, we know there's a lot of concerns around that, and you have free right not to, but we encourage you to at least look at the data, look at the information, and protect yourself, protect your family.
Yeah. So today we're going to change it up a bit. And we're going to have a conversation about attraction. Attraction. So this is many levels, right, Professor S? It's not
Yes,
just
it is.
sexual, right?
Yes.
It also can be person to person, coworkers. What attracts you? What kind of people attract you?
Right.
So this is when we first came up with the topic. I said, oh, it's going to be easy. No,
There's a lot to this.
Yeah, a lot of layers.
In terms of my research, I looked at it more from the romantic attraction part and what happens to our minds, our bodies, and just the different things in our environment that cause us to be attracted to someone or that become attracted to us.
Yeah, and I took a slightly different point of view. I was more concerned with not only attracting partners and relationships, but also attracting people to you, like and the kinds of people to you. So it's kind of the laws of attraction / sexual attraction, I think, but attraction nonetheless.
Like
as well.
human attraction.
Absolutely, human
to
attraction.
human. That's right.
And I think this is at the core of everyone's motivation on some level. Who you're attracted to, who you surround yourself with, your friends, your family, who you're closer to in your family.
And who makes you feel good?
Yeah.
When you're around them, who makes you feel good and why? Why is it that some relatives you really like and others that you don't, et cetera, et cetera. So let's get into it. Part of what when I was looking at stuff online and so on, I ran into this channel on YouTube called Top Think. And one of the points that they were mentioning that attraction, you have a lot of control over your attractiveness. So, for example, health and fitness, people are attracted to. That you look healthy. You don't necessarily have to be buffed, but you're taking care of yourself. So that is something to take time out to really groom, pay attention to your clothing, things of that nature, style. So these are kind of basic things that, okay, so I may not be the most handsome man, but I can have a proper haircut. I can make sure my hair is, my bald is shining. People feel more comfortable if they dye it a little darker or just shape up your facial hair and so on. But those things are within our control. So that was just one of the aspects of what contributes to attractiveness.
I mean, you kind of see it in the natural world too. I always go back to the natural world because I feel like we're definitely part of this planet, but we're more natural to this planet than we think. I feel like for instance, like different animals have different techniques and they evolve
Oh, yeah.
physical attributes that attract the opposite sex.
I think of peacocks. That's the first thing I think of peacocks, right?
Yeah, because the males have these beautiful plumes they display to attract female.
They're prettier than the women. The
Yeah,
females,
and the
right?
females are like dull and kind of brown and plain.
Excuse me, I'm brown.
Me too,
I'm
but
not dull. I'm a little bit plain, but yeah. What
bro,
are we doing?
this was not an attack on you.
What are we doing?
It was not an attack on you.
What are we doing?
It was not an attack on you.
Please continue.
Right. So they actually evolved physical attributes. So
Yes.
I can't help but feel like, humanity is very similar, at least somewhat similar to
Sure.
what's happening in the animal world.
The animal world, absolutely.
So we develop and evolve,
Also, hormone. A lot of the animals, they can smell the changes in their mates or potential mates, and that lets them know that their mate is ready, or the female or the male is ready to procreate.
right. And some of the, actually, now that you mention it, like some of the things they were talking on that same Think Talk, was it? What was it
Top
called?
think.
Top Think. It was they had, because I saw one similar to that. Then it was saying how like also smells like you can be attracted to the way someone smells, like the natural smell, not like perfumes help too, but eventually at the end of the day,
The musk.
yeah,
The musk that guys have, and what do women have?
pheromones,
The fragrance.
the pheromones, right?
Fragrance. Yes, pheromones. Men and women have pheromones.
Do they?
Is it only women that have pheromones? Is that what your research says?
I didn't. I just. I don't know.
I think pheromones are both.
Oh, okay.
Well, but anyway,
it's
it's part of the attraction, the
Right.
smell. Yeah.
So and then what makes up your smell is what you eat, how you live. So these are, and maybe the way it works is you eat and live in that same fashion, and those same things attract you because you can continue your lifestyle. It's
That's a
so
very good
wild,
point.
so many levels to attraction, and it's not. It depends on who you are and who they are, right? If you need protection, if you're a person who wants to be protected, then you need someone who has those, protecting nature, like or vice versa. There's so many elements. It's not just looks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And other things that contribute to it is, a lot of the media affects how we're attracted, who we're attracted to.
Right.
Right. So you see
get programmed at
the
a very
Brazilian butt lift look, that tight waist and wide hips and breasts and fat being redistributed in bodies, and sometimes that is what other women feel that other women see as attractive, and therefore attractive to men. And so if you see a lot online, you see women getting that surgery, or we have celebrities. When I think of Nicki Minaj or
Kardashians.
yes, the Kardashians especially, that kind of set trends for what is considered attractive.
I think, since we're on the subject of the Kardashians and plastic surgery and all that stuff, I feel like it's becomes warped, right? Somewhat, right? Like, yes, we do like.
Oh yeah, these are
Butts and boobs and-
unattainable standards of beauty. I mean, they have money and surgery.
Right. So, but it gets. Let me have a bigger butt. Let me have bigger boobs. Let me
Yes.
have bigger lips. Let me have, and it kind of their perception gets warped.
And it's a surgery addiction, becomes addiction to surgery.
Right, because you think you're doing the right thing. My butt needs to be bigger. My boobs need to be bigger. And my lips need to be bigger. And then it gets to the point where it's unnatural looking, right?
Yeah, you begin to look like a blimp.
Yeah, it's just warped. So I think like attraction is not. I don't know if it's that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's an attempt to get the attraction to be attractive, but I feel
But it's like one of those unconscious. It's like an unconscious element that makes you think that's attractive. If you watch enough TV and watch enough celebrities and rap artists and so on, you begin to believe that's what is attractive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
it becomes part of your psyche. You're not even aware. So actors, celebrities, what they're wearing, what they look like, how they're groomed, and so on, kind of affects what you think is attractive.
I mean, you could almost say that since a young age you were kind of programmed to what
Yes.
is and isn't attractive. But what we did is, like we try to do every so often, is we went out on the streets and went and asked a few people what they thought attraction was. So it's your guy DJ Mayday, and what's attraction? And I think I found the place. Romantic Depot. So we're gonna go in here. Maybe somebody can let me know. This is the kind of place that sells adult sex toys, sexy lingerie, bachelor and bachelorette party favors. You could almost say they're in the business of attraction, or at the very least, sell the tools of the trade. So we're here. It's your man DJ Mayday, and we're talking to Vanessa, and we're asking her, what is attraction?
To me, attraction is definitely like something that, like, well, I gotta think about it. I'm really bad at this. You're gonna cut this, right?
Yeah, no. Like it could be sexual attraction, or it could be friend to friend attraction. Like what draws you to people, you know?
Oh, definitely a personality. Definitely have to be like funny, has some type of
Humor.
Yeah, characteristic or anything. Because a lot of people like they're people, but they don't have characteristics. Like you know what I mean? Very dull. Definitely, we have to share common likes. You know.
Right,
Definitely
right.
Things I like. You know.
Right.
And, yeah.
So, how much does looks play on attraction? Is it 50% of your attraction, or
I'm definitely gonna say like 75% of it, like has to be like have to be attracted to you. 75, but now they're like we should be cool. I have to be attracted to you though.
oh, so
you
it's
know?
like a lot physical for you?
Yeah, very physical.
Like
yeah.
appearance and
Like how you take care of yourself, or like how you conduct yourself around others and stuff like that. Like just things like that.
Cool.
Very important to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks,
you.
Vanessa.
Right. So DJ Mayday, accosted these people in the street.
Oh, I definitely did accost
and
them.
held them up
I
as we
definitely
do
did
in the
that.
Bronx. We hold people. I'm only kidding. I'm
Wow.
only kidding.
Wow.
These are folks.
Wow.
Who gladly fell under the spell of DJ Mayday and spoke their truth about attraction.
Truth be told, I was driving by Romance Depot, and I said, "This has got to be part of it."
Can you tell them what Romance Depot
Oh,
is?
Romance Depot is kind of a place where it's kind of a fun place where you can go get like toys and like
Sexual.
sex toys and
lingerie
and
videos and various leather things and things that to enhance sexual pleasure.
Yeah, and it's actually not a seedy place or anything like that. It's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
So I was driving by and I was like,
It's actually in a residential neighborhood.
It's kind of
On
just
the it's a borderline.
Yeah,
Because there's houses across the street from it.
right.
And but anyway, yeah. But anyhow,
But then it turns into like junkyard.
industrial. It's an
Yeah,
industrial
yeah.
area. Yeah. Okay.
So so I figured they gotta know what attraction is, at least on the sexual levels. Mm-hmm. So we did that interview, and it was interesting. I think to different ages, attraction means different things, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think so.
So, and it's so funny too because you're young and you have these ideas of what attraction is, and you start building your life towards it, and they could change as you get older, right? What attraction is to you? So
True, and attraction can also what can contribute to attraction is if you have a similar generation, you have similar cultural touch points. Like you'll know certain TV shows, certain
Right.
music from a certain era can also make that person appear attractive to you, or vice versa. So there's a lot of things that go into it.
But what's interesting is, and I didn't expect the person to say this, but they said that 75% of what makes someone attractive is how they look. And that was interesting to me, and right away I thought, wow, that's got to be something for her age group. I think a little bit, because I remember when I was a kid, it was all about the looks, right?
Yeah.
Then as
Well,
you
that's
get-
the first thing that we see, right?
Right.
Is what we see.
Right, but 75% is a lot.
I think that might be fair. I think that might be fair for many folks.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, yeah. I mean, in my mind, whatever's left in my mind, but in my mind, it's a big piece of. Just that's what we see. We're not seeing a person's mind or memories. We
Right.
see how they're acting. We see how they look. We see how they dress.
True.
So yeah.
But see, for me, like, I could be, stunned by your beauty, right? Mm-hmm. And depending on the next,
What comes out of their mouth?
absolutely, I could
Right.
be like, oh, I'm done with you, like,
Right.
Or I could be like, oh my God, I'm even more attracted to you,
Right.
So, like, for me personally, I would never say 75%, and I don't think at any point in my life it was 75%. But I would have to say it's a
Maybe
70,
50%?
30. No, 30% looks, 70%
Okay.
content.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yes,
Because I talk
I agree
crazy
with
and I
you.
talk wildness, and I need someone who's going to be able to.
Keep up.
Right. I can't be. I'm not going to talk about just TV shows all day and like.
Right. You
You know.
actually have an intellect, right? Is that what you're trying
No,
to say?
I'm just saying I have interests, other
Oh.
interests,
Yeah,
and you don't have to be interested.
but
in the same
you're
thing.
smart.
Oh,
Don't
Thank
get carried away.
well, that's how I always personally thought. So,
Yes, no, I agree. After thinking about it, you're absolutely right.
like, because you could be fine as hell, and I'm sitting across the table. There's only maybe I can 10 minutes fake that I care about the dumb shit you're talking about. You know what I mean? You have to have some substance.
Substance to
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah,
And it doesn't have to
absolutely.
be what I'm interested in. It could be in anthropology, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, and sometimes when people have a very varied experience, that can also be attractive, right?
Right.
Because you're like, oh, I didn't know about this, or I didn't know
Or
about that.
you speak
Yeah.
2 languages, or you
Yes.
came from another country. And
Yes, can be very
whatever it is,
attractive.
it's
Yes.
for me that it's more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The more I have to be piqued in the brain.
Right. Right.
That's my thing. Another thing, the part that I was looking into is
Mm-hmm.
the law of attractions. Even though this is not a proven scientific, theory all the way, it is an interesting theory. I'm just going to read it out really quick, just so you can get an idea of what the laws of attraction are. The law of attraction is a philosophy suggesting that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. It is based on the belief that thoughts are a form of energy, and that positive energy attracts success in all areas of life, including health, finance, and relationships.
And we're reading from the Very Well Mind website.
Yes.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's interesting too. Like, I'm, I do believe, me personally, this is a personal belief. If you put good energy in, you have positive thoughts, you go into a situation with a positive outlook, positive things do come out. I feel like that I've experienced that. So I'm kind of in the camp of believing this. But it's okay if you don't, you know what I mean? But it costs nothing to try, and it doesn't hurt to give it a whirl. But putting positive thoughts in your brain to have positive outcomes.
I think, and then you combine maybe how you're dressed, how you're groomed, your confidence, things like that kind of pushes the
together.
pushes the needle more towards your favor. But, also as a psychotherapist, people have a lot of barriers as to what holds them back from talking to new people or feeling confident, even in a meeting or presenting, doing a talk in public. A lot of issues around confidence comes up. So sometimes we also have to look at what is contributing to our fears or what's contributing to us feeling kind of small. And I think that's also a part of it, because people have natural beauty. And if we're kind of keeping ourselves small, it's hard for other people to see it if you're not even allowing it to kind of come forth. Or people see your beauty, but you don't see it. So
Right.
that's the other thing, right? And I'm not just talking about physical beauty, but they see the beauty of your energy, and they'll see it probably easier than you might. So that's just another part.
I feel
of
like
attraction.
too. And while you were saying that, I couldn't help but think about like all the young people who are in social media, who've kind of hide behind, social media, leaving comments, be able to be a voyeur to the world instead of participating on some levels.
Oh, yeah, that's a
on
good
some
point.
on some levels, not all people, but I think sometimes people can get caught up and then lose those human connections and contacts and ability to kind of, like you said, like shine
Yes.
and show who you are. So
Basic social skills.
yeah, basic social skills. They're masters at the social media, by the way. Some of them, and the better. It almost seems like the better they are at the social media, the less equipped they are for face-to-face life. So it's a very interesting thing that's happening right now. So, I don't know what the answer is to that, but I think you can get your value system about attraction a little skewed from social media.
Right. So true. Can I just add another
Absolutely. Go for it.
angle on this? Part of when we feel a sense of being in love with someone, it actually can literally change our body. And so there are the parts of our brain that are neurotransmitters, and these are the parts of chemicals that our brain creates that affects our moods and perception. So there's a chemical called dopamine, right, which is like an up kind of chemical, and it makes it hard for us to sleep. Then we have cortisol, which can take away your appetite, right? Because cortisol usually comes in when you have to like do something, like run or run away from something. It generates energy, and part of that energy process is you don't have an appetite. Like if you don't have an appetite, then you can run, you can do all these other things. But when you're attracted to someone, cortisol is also generated, and it can cause you to lose your appetite. And then we have oxytocin, which they call the cuddle hormone, which can increase your heart rate. So that's why when you're attracted to someone or you don't hear from someone, it can make it you sleep. You can't sleep. You just keep thinking about them. Or if you miss the person, you can't eat. They didn't call you at a certain time. You just lose your appetite. And if you meet the person or you're away from the person, it can cause you to feel anxious and your heart starts beating. So when you have that attraction, these are chemicals that get produced in our brains, and we can have these reactions. So our body literally changes.
That's a cocktail of like reactions and like I don't know. That's a lot to be happening. That's all happening in your body while you're attracted.
It's all happening. That's right.
At one time, when it comes to attraction. So I mean, that whole thing where you're mad with love. I mean, you literally mad with love. So
head over heels.
Head over heels. My God,
can't catch your breath.
Right.
So yes.
You got any more?
Yes. Yes. You want to skip down the street? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You asked me if there was any more.
No, I mean, but that's great. So, attraction, not only in the physical, sexual, romantic sense, but who you attract to you. You ever heard that saying? Show me your friends and you'll tell me who you are. Or
Yes.
I don't know if I said it exactly
something like
right.
that.
Something
Yes.
like that. I mean, there's some truth to that, right? That's a true saying. That's just out of observation, but I mean that is part of the conversation. You bring
attract that, like attracts like, so to speak. Is that
right? What you want,
what
you do attract. Eventually, you keep saying you want this thing or these types of people, you will get that. You know what I mean? So it's all very interesting, and I think one of the takeaways is that you're kind of in control of it.
right?
Like, and that's an interesting aspect too when doing the research is like, you can dictate, who's going to be around you, who you want around you. You are in charge of it, no matter what you may think. Your life's out of control, or people are preying on you. You're allowing them to prey on you. So I think you're in more control of who's around you and what's around you than you think. And I think that's one of the takeaways for me, and that's part of the laws of attraction as well. Is understanding your power in that exchange of attraction.
And you made me think about what I was mentioning earlier, where the information said you have a lot of control over the things that you can control about your attractiveness, right? Grooming, not being, just grooming yourself, being healthy, being fit. These are all things within your control. So, can I add
Go for it,
something else onto this? So, as I was doing the research, there's an author, and I probably mentioned this in other episodes, but these are all separate episodes, so you don't really know that. But there's a author named Gary Chapmen, and he wrote the book, The 5 Love Languages, back in 1992, which has developed more and more over the years. But basically, he talks about the 5 love languages. And the reason why I'm bringing up the 5 love languages, that also creates more attraction. You begin to like somebody even more or love them when they speak your love language.
Right.
So, did you want to say something?
No, and it also helps if you know your love language, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm just going to run through them real quick. And again, these are behaviors that creates love energy with your mate and vice versa. So the first love language is words of affirmation. There are some people that love when you give them really positive feedback about either what they're doing, what they're wearing, how they affect you. You look really nice today, or I love the way that you handled that meeting with the plumber. Like something that lets them know that you see them and you're telling them in various ways that they're appreciated. Acts of service is a love language where a person would really appreciate when you do things for them. So something as simple as if your mate's friend, let's say, does the dishes for you while you're, cleaning off a table, like that can make a person feel loved, like you really care about them, that you're willing to do this extra work or anticipate the need. There's people that feel loved when you do that. Receiving gifts. Some people love to receive gifts. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be very small, like a stick of, kind of flavored gum that you like. It could be flowers. It could be a whole bunch of things. The important things is to know what your mate, if that's their love language, how do they want that gift? What type of gift what kind of gift makes that person feel loved, right? The other one is quality time. There are people that when you really spend time with them, they feel very loved. It's not that they wouldn't like a gift. It doesn't mean they don't want words of affirmation, but they love when you just spend time with them. And sometimes it's where you spend or how you spend time. Some people, they love to feel quality time when they're watching TV together. Another person might feel that's boring. They would rather go out to a movie, go out dancing, but quality time in whatever way that looks like. The last one is physical touch. There's some people that feel very loved when they're hugged, hold hands, rubbed up against, have their legs touching each other's legs while they're watching a TV show. Touch could also mean sex too, can go that far too. But it's all these different ranges of communicating physical touch. So words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch are 5 love languages that if you know your mate's language, they can really feel very loved by you by doing some very simple things and vice versa. Can I give you an example of something that happened today with one of my clients?
Yeah, just don't touch me. Go. So don't, please don't. Go.
Anybody watching the show 911 Stephen Welch in the Bronx? So one of my clients, a couple, heterosexual couple, and having a very rough time communicating, and then after we were talking a little bit about his wife, I said, your wife she works a lot, she's in and out. It sounds like if you do things for her around the house, that might make a difference to her. And he said, really? That's no big deal to wash a dish and do all that. So yeah, but try to be conscious and do more of that. See what her response might be. Do you know that when he started doing that,
he got some.
Within 2 days,
he got some.
It wasn't even like he got some. His wife was posting it online.
Wow.
How clean the sink was in the kitchen.
See?
She was over the moon. And she was very happy. And he couldn't understand why something so simple for him. So to do these things around the house was not a big deal. It wasn't a reach, So he couldn't understand why that would be such a big deal. Yeah, it's how you get to that place, right? How
I'm
do you
terrible
get to
at that
that
shit.
understanding? How you get to read the cues? Because when I was speaking to the husband, it was a whole process. Like, does she like gifts? Does she like spending time together? How does she feel about this and this and that? And so out of that, 2 things came out of it. The acts of service, to do things for her around the house, but also that she enjoyed quality time. He enjoys quality time too, but it's very different. So you have to kind of like know how your mate likes to have quality time, because you might be sitting with them watching TV, but they'd rather go to the movies. But you think that's what they like. You have to find out.
I could totally understand that because, like me, I don't feel like we're spending time if we're around our kids. Mm-hmm. I just don't, because they draw so much of the attention. So
that's a perfect example.
Exactly.
But you see now, if your wife doesn't see it that way, then you are gonna feel you're not gonna feel loved. And in one of the research things I found, where they were saying that a lot of times affairs are not. This is from let me just see where this came from. It's called a book called The Science of Love, and the researcher was Dr. Gottman, and he did a TED Talk, Venice speech. And he talked about that a lot of times affairs are not really due to the mate wanting sex. Is that they feel lonely. They feel like that person isn't who's
Seeing
maybe
them.
not they're not seeing them. They're not speaking their love language, or it's lost. Maybe it was there in the beginning and now it's not there. So it's just interesting. He made that point that it's not the sex. It's a lonely feeling. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I mean, what's the takeaway?
So the takeaway is
Just on attraction.
the takeaway on attraction is we express and experience attraction in many different ways. It's important to see what makes you attractive. It's important to know what attracts you.
Right. I think for me, just listening to everything you said, it's attraction is a lot more in your hands than you think, and maybe that's like another aspect of it.
Great point.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for listening to Six Train Therapy. I'm DJ Mayday.
I'm Professor S.
Peace.
Take care.